We on?
Don't be alarmed, it's not the midweek preview, it is the Saturday preview for Rose Hill. We've lost Glenn because I said we needed to film on Thursday night because Canterbury race tomorrow night, and more importantly, my eldest is being admitted to the legal profession tomorrow. So that's a ceremony that's on in place of the Saturday preview, so that's why we're filming tonight. Nevertheless, Gord is here, he's pumped, and he's also got some advice for Flemington a little bit later. But Gord, look, this is a really good card. This is a deep card at Rose Hill.
Massive card. There's so many dual acceptors from Canterbury tomorrow night to Saturday at Rose Hill. So
which is a bit unfortunate, and it perhaps says that the programming is inadequate because really, if they've got either or Friday night or Saturday, then you've failed to pull the respective programs apart. We're back on a 6 metre rail at Rose Hill. It seems like only yesterday we were on a 6 metre rail, you know, that fence on fire, and then we had a normal rail which was played up the inside as well. And then something a bit different last weekend, and now back to 6 metres tomorrow, sorry, not tomorrow, Saturday. Murky conditions, certainly midweek, which may have stopped them watering, and that tends to exacerbate an inside track. So be warned, be wary that it could play up the inside again, something severe. What we need is rain to actually stop that from happening.
Yeah, I'm hoping, even though we had murky conditions, that they actually still did irrigate to make the track a little bit more.
You know how much I hate them irrigating, Gord,
I know,
you know, like I want them to
irrigate,
stop using the hoses.
Well, if you don't do it at all, that's fine, but this track has been that fence on fire recently that I'm scared.
Yeah, look, it is a bit scary. Look, we open with what is a bloody cracking 2-year-old race, principally because the Magic Millions is, 5 weeks away, and we've got mostly Magic Millions horses here, 2 O'Shea runners, which are obviously homebreds and aren't eligible, and one of them is favourite, that's Coorg, which is actually a province in India. Big hello to Mitch Manners, who did his best in the trials. No, perhaps he didn't do his best. He just went, I'm going to call this Courge.
Oh, okay. So he went France, and it's actually India.
No, he just went, what I'm all, you know, like I'm just going to have a stab without even looking, I think.
Okay, I know you're quite strict on looking these things up now.
Well, you know, if you're going to be a race caller, you actually have to deliver some sort of content that we can follow, and pronunciation becomes then quite important. So, look, I really like you, Mitch Manners, and I really like your passion, and I really wish you'd concentrate on some pronunciation. Anyway, Coorg is $2.40. $5 Falconic, who is a Portelli horse that trialled in very similar fashion. $7.50 is Chauffeur, locally trained Gerald Ryan, and 1.6 million at the sales. $9 is the stablemate of the favourite, Lutriola. $9 Allied Power, who has had a run at Rose Hill a couple of weeks ago. $9.50 All Too Huling. $13 Gay Bot Angel's Boy, and long odds the bottom one, who failed on debut. Gord, this race was notable for the fact that we had these 2 horses that they really impressed in their most recent. Well, Coorg has only had 1 trial, but Falconic trialled in similar fashion, being restrained to the tail and then like being sort of let go out wide just after turning and just reeling them in quite quickly.
Falconic's was 743, Coorg's is 900.
Right, that means what?
I'm giving more credibility to the 900 metre trial.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, and also it's at Rose Hill. Like it's, we spoke about the debutant winner last week, who won his trial at 900 at Rose Hill, trialling away from home, trialling on the track that, or trialling in the vicinity or on the precinct of his debut run. Do you want to say anything else about the horse, or are you?
I think there's only 2 chances in the race. I'll give you my 2 chances, and that's number 2 Allied Power and number 5 Coorg. 2 Allied Power was given absolutely none on that bias track.
We speak of the track 2 weeks ago where the rail was actually true, but it played rails in run.
And if you noticed, it was off the pace, scrubbed, eased off heels, and actually was still quite strong late. And you know, I'm just on this whole program tomorrow or Saturday, I'm looking for horses that are actually not on fence on that particular Rose Hill day.
Yeah, because that's the feed. That's a fortnight ago, so that's fair enough.
So it was given absolutely no chance. So we don't know, but it is quite long odds as well. So
yeah, look, it was well tried as well. The China Horse Club horses are invariably a focus on debut, an expensive yearling, a Magic Millions yearling. He's going to be, well, he competed in a strong heat there, and he's got to be a chance. Are you just ruling out the 743s for the sake of it, or do you actually want to evince an opinion?
I'm looking at style as well. The most stylish trial by an absolute country mile was number 5, Korg. I just don't like it when they drop out.
Well, he was
as
restrained
2-year-olds. Yeah,
he was
I know,
restrained back. You could see from the get-go he was actually deliberately restrained.
Yeah, but what I'm saying about this particular horse is I think it's the best horse in the race by an absolute country mile. But
is there a difference between an absolute country mile and a country mile?
I think there is actually. Isn't there like a Roman version? Should we get into it on the racing show?
Sounds good.
So.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That'll be the subject of a future discussion.
yeah. Absolutely stylish. Picked them up in a couple of bounds when it was dropped out last. Looked stylish. The only thing I'm worried about is that I do like my 2-year-olds. It is 2-year-olds, isn't it? To be more professional. Bound the gates, take a position. We're not sure whether this horse can actually do that yet.
And he's racing on a track where that might be important.
Yeah. But clearly, I think the best horse in the race is number 5, and I'm giving a total forgive to number 2. They're the only 2 chances as far as I'm concerned.
So, I watched those trials, and I mentioned Falconic because he trialled in the same way, and you said, well, 743, so it doesn't count. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But he did trial in the same way. It was a restrained, and then it was just like, let go around the field and pick them up. Would you rather actually see those horses be like taking splits to make that sort of ground? You know, like it's perhaps an optical illusion because they on the point of the turn they're full of running. I say that because the stablemate of Korg, Lutriola, raced handy, sort of box seated, then got the split, went to the lead, and didn't appear to be let down anyway. So it sort of like didn't have any momentum.
Yeah, it didn't have any momentum. But with these young horses that are untried, if they show a dash like Korg did, they're serious horses. And you're actually looking for the horse that actually has scope. Because some of these will be at Katoomba in 6 months, and some of them will be running around for the big biggies. I'm saying this is one that could be running around for the big biggies.
Yeah, watch this space for Korg, and certainly next preparation, if not on Saturday. I'm suggesting that Chauffeur, who Gerald Ryan trains, is a horse that we can expect good things from on Saturday because he went to the early seasons and then he's come back and he's had a trial through the week at Rose Hill in fast time at 900 metres, and he's just going to be there. Obviously, Angel's Boy, I anticipate pressing for the lead. Perhaps Chauffeur may hold him out, and he's my selection. Gord's given his 2 picks.
I'm against Chauffeur.
Race 2 is another 3-year-old race over 1,400 metres. I say another 3-year-old race because we're used to the 3-year-olds starting out early on the card with the lack of runners, shall we say. And before I give the market, I will need to find the market, which reads $2.10 Zumbalina, $4 Aki Barber off the Beaumont Maiden win, $7 Louboutin, who is an acceptor at Canterbury, $8 Cadogan, and $14 RB at Sam, $17 How Sweet It Is, winner of a 3-horse field at Goulburn. I had Louboutin, should she run seeking the lead, given she went back to 1,200 last time, now up to 1,400. Certainly RB at Sam should be handy, no worse than handy, and Aki Barber looks to be handy as well. Zumbalina raced on the inside on an inside day. She snags back here, but she's looking for 4 straight, Gordon.
Only 2 chances yet again. Number 1, Zumbalina, and number 3, Akibaba. If I had to take a preference, it would be to Akibaba. They have common Fantastic Man form. Akibaba smashed Fantastic Man by 4.3 lengths at not pushed out, and Zumbalina beat it by 0.4 of a length.
I'd suggest that both, like Fantastic Man was disadvantaged in one case and advantaged in the other
Totally
case.
agree with you, but that's a big difference. I love Freshen Up Trial. We don't have a problem with this Irish bloke at the moment. I didn't decide whether I was going to take 35% profit on backing both of them, or just have a play at Akibaba. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, look, he returned very stylishly. At last preparation, he had a few things thrown at him and was well, looking a touch hollow for mine. So I will look at him on Saturday, because he's just found the front in a maiden, which to me is not exactly what I'm looking for a last start maiden winner going into these sort of races. I suggest that Louboutin, should she run, whilst she had the pride of place on a fence day, is better off at 1400 metres and represents some opportunity, or has some opportunity. Zumbalina, well, I mean, she's done the job, has she done the job because there's nothing else to do the job?
I'm not sure yet. That's something
Because
we might
like
see
she
tomorrow.
picked herself up beautifully when when into the clear the other day. Now she's look,
She hasn't stamped herself yet, but we don't know either.
yeah, but she's up against, well, she's tailed up Cadogan twice now, and she's up against maiden winner, and 2 fillies down the bottom. So she hasn't necessarily met her match either. That's race 2. The highway is also over 1400 metres, and we're seeing the highway starting to be dwarfed by other races. Glenn won't be happy at all. $3.30 the leader, the Nixter. We're out to then $7.50 I Told Georgie, $8.50 Falco, $9 is Forever New York, $9.50 Bill's a Goodie, $13 Alcubana, $13 Artistic Beauty. I missed Backless, who is a lightly raced 3-year-old filly who's only had the 2 starts, $9, and $18 Mar Nero. Now, I mentioned the Nixter because the Nixter looks set to take this up, and certainly led 2 weeks ago when certainly favoured by the track, but also a big space to the 3rd horse there when Delightful Feeling beat her up. I Told Georgie I have on speed. Artistic Beauty is quite good from the gates, and I have her box seating. Backless and Bill's a Goodie, Diamond Charlie have midfield. There's actually not much happening in terms of speed, and I can understand why the Nixter is so fashionable here. Gord, are you in its camp?
No, I'm against it. Track bias last start, and before that this horse really hadn't done much. I'm looking something with a little bit of DF as far as this race is concerned.
Yep.
I've found number 1 on top, Falco, and I'm quite keen. Last start, Wagga, look, they might have been trying to win, but it seemed like it was a run around.
No, we
to get
saw
ready
this
for
horse. We saw this
particular
horse
race.
at Kembla last preparation. It's like they don't. They are serious
When
when
come to
they're
town.
serious.
Yeah,
When they're
yeah.
serious, like they pick out a race. It's
177 days off. They go to Wagga, drops way out the back. It was the best of the back markers coming home.
it is Wagga, Gord. We have
Well,
talked about Wagga before.
Yeah, and you know I hate it, but I'm saying that what it did then was irrelevant. That was just a run around to get ready for this particular race. I'd suggest they might have even been upset if they had won that race, because wouldn't that have meant that it couldn't go into Class 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That be warned. Benchmarking is one thing. As soon as you're looking at a restricted number of wins, it's game on.
Yeah, seems like absolute setup. This is a trainer that actually does target particular races in that fashion. Its flops at Rose Hill in its last preparation, the preparation before, there's been excuses. One of them was a far higher standard race. The other one was on a heavy 10. So, I mean, some people might look at those track stats and pen it, but if you interrogate more closely, there forgives. I'm quite keen on number 1 Falco, and the other one I was interested in is number 3 I Told Georgie, which has a massive positive jockey change, was posted 3 wide, first up after a long break, and did do quite well to hang on.
Danny Williams scored. Dum, 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 dum,
I won't be
dum,
backing
dum,
it.
dum, dum.
Yeah, I won't be backing it, but well, it depends on price. It's a price orientation thing, but for me, like Falco definitely, and everybody knows that I've been spruiking Artistic Beauty till the cows come home. But
Well,
I've
that
had
was
enough.
a 5 metre rail where they just crawled along and bit a bit like it's just, you know, its two highway runs were very sound. I'm in Artistic Beauty's corner. Look, I respect the Nixter, but I think it's way too well found. And Al Cubana goes B McDougall to G Schofield, had 28 days off before its last run, and a tongue tie back on tomorrow. So I think it merits some.
yeah, what price was 7?
7 is $13.
I won't be losing on it.
Yeah, so look, it merits some respect there. That's the highway. No comment on Backless scored, which is well found. It ran shithouse times at Wagga on debut.
You know me, I'm not much of a time person, but I had to find some way to interrogate that particular run.
Sorry, it's
I'm
only had one
against
run, yeah.
Wagga, and it was a poor
Oh,
time.
but down 6 kilos scored.
Go away, mate.
There's nothing like it, is there? That's the highway, which isn't an uninteresting race. And I will say that Falco is a horse of considerable interest there. Just wishing he had perhaps had a more sympathetic track. We'll wait and see on that one. And then we go to another 1400 metre race, this time for mares. And Dagny, who comes to Saturday after a series of hiccups, now has a synthetic hoof filler on, is $3.40. $5.50 Dixie Chick, $6.50 Girl Sunday, and $14 Alert, sorry, $12 Pepperberry, $14 Alert, $15 Lychea, $14 Heartlings, and $20 Rowinda, longer the rest. Now, similar scenario to a fortnight ago, Girl Sunday looks to take it up. Pepperberry may be forced into OSL here, or Distraught may opt to press on. Alert not too far away. Dixie Chick holds her inside position, and Heartlings looks for a position from her wider draw. Amazingly, Gord, I didn't realise until I was doing the form for this race, Dixie Chick, after the scratchings of Dagny and the other baby, Cottage, she wound up 5-4 and 6-4 on the tote, or maybe it was 6-4 and 5-4 the other way, which is quite amazing, but maybe irrelevant in this race. Which way?
No. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, where the whole dynamic changed with those two out, and you were actually betting into a very positive value situation by ignoring Dixie Chick in that circumstance.
Yeah, who did go very close.
That's maybe something for a Monday show. Yeah, I don't know. We'll know the way the track's playing. I put a caveat on everything I'm saying right now, because there's going to be so many horses come out due to scratchings, and whether they're running on Friday or Sunday or blah blah.
Well, no dual acceptance in this one.
No. But like, more importantly, we'll know the track bias.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing.
Yeah, because look, we've got a number of runners in this race that were suited. Girl Sunday was suited. Dixie Chick was suited.
Yeah.
Heartlings wasn't. Pepperberry was suited. Rowinda wasn't suited, and Dagny, who knows? Lychea went back on the inside, so it had some help. Is there anything you can throw?
There's
up
only
here?
2 chances in this race if the track is playing fair, and they're Heartlings and Dagny. Now, Heartlings, that run against the bias was fantastic. It was far superior than anything in that particular
does
race.
torture the rest of the race, doesn't it? It does say, like Salmanazar and co. you're rubbish.
Look, I'm looking about the fact that you got beaten by horses like Dream Lane and Isorich, and normally that would be a pen for me, but because the bias was that significant, it was an absolute brilliant run. I know the trainer and what he has in mind with this particular horse, and there's no way it was prime for that particular race.
Yeah.
It is prime now in this race if there isn't massive track bias, and to be honest, I wouldn't worry about it. I think it's $14.
That's the thing about it. If you're
I'd
worried
take the
about a
risk.
bias, it's just move into the other area of the market.
Yeah, exactly. And the other one, just on suspicion, is number 9, Dagny. I wasn't aware of all that information that you just imparted to the people out there, and that gives me a bit of a scare.
Hello, people.
But
No, it's only one thing, Gord. It's synthetic hoof filler, and
that's a lot, Mike.
Well, it's not necessarily a lot. It's something you look at afterwards and go, ooh. But beforehand, I'm not so sure that it's that significant.
Without bias, I stamped it down to only 2 chances.
Interestingly, Pepperberry has an SP over Dagny in that race. And Pepperberry is the lowest of the low.
Oh my God, we laughed about it on Tuesday night, didn't we?
Yeah. You know, the fact that Pepperberry nearly won a Saturday race 2 weeks ago means nothing. You know, there it was, and the only horse to win away from the rails all day beat Pepperberry.
I think you actually did mention to me, Mark, that anything near Coys should be penned for the rest of eternity.
Perhaps. What am I saying in this race? Look, I went looking for Dagny because she's she's returned for Waller. She's had her first preparation for Waller and just been so stylish twice.
Mare too, isn't it? It's gold.
Yeah, it's a mare. Look, Girl Sunday has done nothing wrong. It was certainly flattered the other day, but did manage to fight off Dixie Chick, who was probably more flattered. And is there anything else? Look, I did mark Hartlings shorter than her current price, so I'll be with you there, Gord. But
I'd suggest if there is bias, then Girl Sunday is close to a moral again. Hmm.
Well, it's such a fraught thing, you know. You go, okay, this horse PR'd the other day. I'm not going to tip it here, but hang on, it's suited again, so therefore it's a moral. It's like, morals are, this horse overcame difficulties the other day, and today it gets things in its favour.
Man,
but
put beautiful. Totally.
Anyway, that's race 4. A bit of a tedious mares race, and we'll know more later on. Then we come back in distance, the 1100 metres, benchmark 85. And Sugar Bay Leonard, who's a dual acceptor, is also in the last, is $5.50. $5.50 the Melbourne mare Estaminet. We have $8 Top Striker, $9 Zestful, who looks set to go round at Canterbury. $11 Del Chilo, $11 Voilier, $12 Our Renaissance, $15 Our Wasita, $13 Lady Zhivago, 17 Magna Joy, 19 Last Witness, blah, 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 blah. As far as the map is concerned, we have Magna Joy to strike out while fresh. Top Striker will be hard up on speed. Our Renaissance will have to go forward, and Estaminet looks to box seat. They're your 4 that I have in the van. Anything here?
Well, I'm a big fan of this particular horse, but it's a ridiculous price, isn't it, Sugar Bay Leonard? What price do you say?
$5.50.
Like that is just...
It was inch perfect at Canterbury last week.
It's taking out 19% of the market, and it's got none.
So you say it's got none because it's completely exposed and perfectly ridden the other day.
Yeah. I'm with number 3 here. It hurts. It's hurting me yet again.
Not A Banks. Oh, A Banks is not right.
No.
Gary Nixon. So God, he hasn't trialled it. What are you doing with that?
I'm giving that a tick.
Because he does like to work his horses down to the bone. I mean, what I'm saying is about Gary Nixon is his horses are all generally very lean as far as the mounting yard people are concerned.
This is a fresh horse.
Scene of the crime, Gord, 1100 throws.
Well, what about first start? What about first start last preparation? That's a good idea. Ins and out, when ins and out was actually doing
Prince
something.
Famous.
Yeah. Seems like a perfect setup to me. Maybe that's a bit of a mounting yard mail one.
Maybe, but you'll have missed the price by then.
But I might double up on my bet if it actually is ready to go. I think they're actually setting for it. The reason why I'm so icky is I think you guys will know there that 14 starts for 1 wins isn't.
Come on, you're on song. Never Back Down.
Solid, good price too, wasn't it?
Gord found Never Back Down on Wednesday at Wyong and managed to overlook the fact that it had 65 starts for 1 win.
Yeah, I know. It's funny, this game, isn't it? Like, you have all these ideas that you live by, and yet you disagree with yourself all the time. So.
Yeah, but they're principles, aren't they?
I think
they're precepts.
I don't think people really understand about pearls. Like, pearls is okay. This is good intent. This is a positive, but it doesn't matter all the time.
Well, especially if you're trying to tip in every race.
Yeah. So I'm with number 3, Voliere. I think that how am I supposed to say? I think it'll be ready to go tomorrow. I think this is its day. I think they've thrown the kitchen sink at it. I think they've
which equals Blake Shin,
finally got the
and 1100
jockey.
metres Rose Hill, the Senator's debut win.
Which it was only a recent pearl, isn't it? The only one I'm interested because I found question marks about all the others. Like Highly Geared, I've just had enough of.
Scratch down. You don't have to worry about it.
Also, it's running on Friday night, isn't it? Or?
Yes.
Yeah. There's just not much here. I had a second look at Last Witness.
Why? Wet tracker?
Yeah, I know it's a wet tracker, but second up stats has actually beaten some decent horses last preparation. But for me, I'm not sure whether I'll play. If I do, I'll back Voliere in the early prices to just make what I consider a minimum bet.
Horses I'll mention here, Del Cielo is an ex-Murray Baker horse that ran in the Randwick Guineas and has now started out with Chris Lees, ran around 1,000 at Musselbrook, and I'd suggest can proceed ahead of Our Renaissance and Awasita the mares. But Tommy Berry needs to go back to last and ride really cutely. Estaminet is a Melbourne where with not a bad record, who won at the short course at Moonee Valley last time, just gets a very, very gun run here. Valier Gord is completely covered. Top Striker, he pulled very hard in 1100 the other day. It's interesting that he's sort of jigged himself as a 1,000-metre horse, but I'm not into him here. And Magna Joy, my old favourite, she's just here fresh. She's just going to take it up. And this is the scene of her 1100 metre win 3 starts back, and she's going to give a big sight. But it's a bit of an icky race, and I'm certainly enamoured of your approach here.
Just one mention, the stable, I reckon number 8, Awasita is absolutely flying.
That stable, that champion, that Australian Bloodstock stable,
and the one has Tommy Berry on it, and Awasita has Brent Abdullah. Who would they choose on top? Brent Abdullah for sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Del Cielo has more, has the possibility of going.
Are you talking about stable?
Awasita is she's just going to sit rails midfield or something, and she's got a hope, but we know exactly what she is. That's the first half. The front half of the program at Rose Hill. We come back for 4 giant races, the legs of the quaddie. After this,
I'll tell you what. Oh, sorry. I thought we were finished. Yeah, Magna Joy has cost me that much fucking.